Friends, let us see plosives today. In English language, in British received pronunciation, there are 24 consonants. They are classified according to their manner of articulation. They are classified as plosives, affricates, fricatives, nasals, lateral, frictionless continuant, and semi-vowels. In this present slide, English consonants are being shown where plosives, affricates, fricatives, nasals, lateral, and approximant. It is written as approximant, that is semi-vowels. Now, plosives are classified into bilabial plosives. You can see in the tabular form bilabial, alveolar, and velar, where bilabial plosives are p, b sounds, alveolar plosives are t and d sounds, and velar plosives are k and g. Similarly, affricates, you can see post alveolar affricate, the sounds are ch and j. Similarly, fricatives as f, v, labiodental, th, the as dental, s, z, and z as alveolar, sh and zh as in measure, sh and zh as post alveolar fricatives, and velar fricative and glottal fricative, that is h. Similarly, nasals m, n, and ng. M is bilabial nasal, n alveolar nasal, and ng as velar. Lateral, that is l, and semi-vowels v and y, and frictionless continuant, that is r. Friends, let us see in detail plosives today. The production of plosives takes place in 3 stages. The closing stage, during which the articulatory organs come together and make a firm contact with each other. The hold or compression stage, in which that is because of the lung action, the air behind the closure is compressed. The release or the explosive stage, during which the articulatory organs separate or get released rapidly, resulting in the escape of the compressed air with explosion. There are 3 pairs of plosives in English language in PRP: bilabial plosives, alveolar plosives, and velar plosives. The plosives and the sounds p, t, k are voiceless plosives, while b, d, and g are voiced plosives. Let us see in detail bilabial plosives. Let us see the description here. In the articulation of p sound, the soft palate is raised to shut off the nasal cavity. The obstacle to the passage of the lung air is formed by the closure of the lips. The lung air is compressed behind this closure, and the vocal cords are kept wide apart. When the lip closure is released, the compressed air escapes with explosion sound or force. Thus, p is a voiceless bilabial plosive. You can see the diagram also. The consonant p is always spelt with the letter p. Wherever p letter occurs in a word, we spell it as p. Exception in words like shepherd, we spell it as p with aspiration. Silent in words like cupboard, pneumonia, salem, recede, where P remains silent. Allophonic variants of P. P is aspirated or released with a puff of breath like P when it occurs initially in a stressed syllables. The symbol used to represent this allophone is, you can see it in the slide, P, PH, like P. For example, PIN. Instead of pronouncing it as pin, we can pronounce it as pin, paint, appoint, appear, pray, peer. P is unaspirated when it occurs in an unaccented syllable as in cup, sleep, type. It occurs before another plosive or affricate as in wept, captain. Similarly, nasally released. It is nasally released. It is released through the nose when it is followed by n, as in happen, help me. In the similar words. Position of P, if we talk about position of P, it occurs in all three positions. Initially as in pin, pace, etc. And medially as in lapse, imply, apply. And finally as in lamp, dump, camp, lip, etc. Now coming to bilabial plosive B, the description is as follows. In the articulation of B, the soft palate is raised to shut off the nasal cavity. The obstacle to the passage of the lung air is formed by the closure of the lips. The lung air is compressed behind this closure and the vocal cords are intact and vibrate. When the lip closure is released, the compressed air escapes with explosion sound or force. Thus, B is a voiced bilabial plosive. If we talk about spelling, B is spelt with letter B, as in bale, as in ball, right? It is silent when it is preceded by M, climb, comb, or followed by T or T. It comes finally, as in depth, doubt. It is also silent in words like plumber, subtle, etc. If we see allophones of B, B is partially devoiced when it occurs initially. That is, vocal cords vibrate in the release stage of articulation. For example, boy, boat, bill. It is voiceless when it occurs finally. Club, web, mop, etc. It is fully voiced when it occurs between voiced sounds as in about, rebound, labor, husband. It is nasally released when it is followed by n. For example, submit, ribbon. And it occurs, B sound occurs in all three positions. For example, as in ball, stab, submit. Now let us see alveolar plosives, T and D. For the articulation of T, the soft palate is raised to shut off the nasal passage of air, and the primary obstacle to the airstream is formed by a closure between the tip of the tongue and the teeth ridge and the rims of the tongue and side teeth. The lung air is compressed behind the closure and the vocal cords do not vibrate. When the closure is released, the compressed air escapes with force. Thus, T is a voiceless alveolar plosive. If we talk about the spelling, T is spelled regularly with T and double T, as in tank, actor, butter, utter. With TH, it is spelled as Thomas, thermal, etc. It is also used in past participle marker ed when suffixed to verbs ending in voiceless consonants other than T. It is pronounced as T. Booked, passed, hatched. It is silent in castle, words like castle, Christmas, bustle. If we talk about allophones of T, that is multiple possible spoken sounds. Allophones are multiple possible spoken sounds. T is aspirated when it occurs initially in an accented syllable, as in tin, twice, tune. It is unaspirated when it occurs in an unaccented syllable, as filter, latter. Also when it occurs medially, as in hat, bits, hats, bits, etc. It is unaudibly released, that is without any explosion, when it occurs finally, as in hot, wet, late, and when it is followed by another plosive, as in hotbed, white grog, etc. Nasally released when it is followed by n, as in button, mutton, cotton. It occurs, the sound T occurs in all three positions, initial, medial and final, as in top, pot, cotton. Now let us see D. For the articulation of D, the soft palate is raised to shut off the nasal passage of air, and the primary obstacle to the airstream is formed by a closure between the tip of the tongue and teeth ridge and the rims of the tongue and side teeth. The lung air is compressed behind the closure and the vocal cords vibrate. When the closure is released, the compressed air escapes with force. Thus, D is a voiced alveolar plosive. You can see the diagram also. It is very clear and vivid. D is spelled as in doe, sad, hidden. It is silent in the words like handkerchief, handsome. If we see allophones of D, it is partially devoiced as vocal cords vibrate in the beginning. Ado, render, model, roadways. It is voiceless when it occurs finally, as in bit, said, roused. Bit, said, roused. It is fully voiced when occurs between voiced sounds such as render, model, and it is nasally released when it is followed by n, as in sudden, bad name, good night. D occurs in three positions, as in initially, medially and finally, as in dinner, read, midway. Now let us see velar plosives k and g. For the articulation of k, the back of the tongue is in firm contact against the soft palate, and the soft palate is also raised and the nasal passage is shut off. The main obstacle to the airstream is formed and the lung air compressed behind the closure when the vocal cords do not vibrate. When the closure is released, the compressed air escapes with force. This is the diagram you can see. If we talk about spellings of k, it is seen as in keen, speaker, kit, where we find k sound. For letter C, sometimes for letter C, the sound k is used as in cut, act, metric. For double C also, for C as in occasion, occur, according. For CK as in pack, sick, luck. For CH as in chemist, stomach. And for QU as in queen, quit, quilt, quite. K is silent as in no, knit, no, knit. Now allophones of k. K is aspirated when it comes initially as in k, kin, cat. Unaspirated when preceded by s as in sky, school. And also when it occurs medially as in act, packs, etc. It is inaudibly released when it occurs finally as in lack, check, take. And when it is followed by another plosive back, door, it is inaudibly released. K occurs in all three positions, initially, medially and finally, as in kit, act, monk. Now, velar plosive g. For the articulation of g, the back of the tongue is in firm contact against the soft palate, and the soft palate is also raised and the nasal passage is shut off. The main obstacle to the airstream is formed and the lung air compressed behind the closure, and the vocal cords vibrate. When the closure is released, the compressed air escapes with force. Spelling: G is regularly spelled as in get, gate, giggle, jiggle. Sometimes it is spelled as G for GH, as in ghost, aghast. Silent when followed by M or N, as in phlegm, sign, nut. The allophonic variants of G are: it is partially devoiced when it begins a word as in good, game, and it is voiceless when it ends a word as in bug, big, back. So these are the plosives which we have seen today. Let us see some other consonants in the next class. Thank you.